We'll swim in this pool and dive in this pool. Prior Lake will swim and dive in their pool separately. The smart computer people will merge the files together at the end of the night and decide, and it'll prove who wins. Interestingly enough, the Prior Lake pool is a little bit faster than the Eagan pool. Pools are determined by lane lines and drainage and depth of the pool. So this pool is not even 8 feet deep. So we'll listen to Nathan Bowie as he introduces the meet here.
As our Wildcats swim and dive team takes on the Prior Lake Lakers. And now, here are your Eagan Wildcats. Head coach of the Wildcats is Chris Morgan. Next up, Owen Kipp, 103B, 1.7 forward, 1.5 SS Pike, 1.7 Gabe on deck. Gabe will dive a 103B forward, 1.5 SS Pike, 1.7 Jacob on deck. Gabe scores 5.5, 5.5. Jacob, 103B. Forward, 1.5 somersault Pike, 1.7 Sam on deck. Sam, 102C, forward, 1 somersault tuck, 1.4. Clark on deck.
All right, this is Gus. I'm back. Got the diving sheets. We're now in the second round of diving. Jacob Frost had a nice 7.5, 7.5. Of course, fantastic timing. I get my sheet and then there's a delay at the scorer's table. It's a tough spot down there. We appreciate VJ, Shrista, and Paul Keller doing a great job. Reviewing how these divers did last meet against Lakeville South. As anticipated, they actually had a good diver who went to state, who coincidentally ended up taking it last week with a score 24.6. That was Keegan Garr. The Wildcats' Jacob Frost got second with 230. So that's a 16.5 point differential. And then the younger Frost, Gabe Frost, took third place last meet against Lakeville South. So you had a 16 point difference between first and second, and then from Gabe to Jacob, the second and third gap was 55 points. So there's a little bit of a gap there. Prior Lake also is the only other pool that in the same facility has a separate diving well, which is very convenient. That means that these guys can practice at the same time as a swim team and kind of all be together at the same time. For instance, at Lakeville, what they have to do is they have to go to a completely separate pool altogether. They go to a different middle school and do their diving there. And then there's Burnsville, who actually doesn't have a diving team because their pool is too shallow. And through the years, if you don't have a diver or two, you just don't grow the program. So this year, one of our divers is out of commission. That's Alex Cahill. He's a 3-sport athlete here at Eagan High School. So Clark is now up, going to do his second dive. He's going to do a 104C forward 2 somersault tuck, 2.2. This is his most difficult dive that he'll do this evening. He's concentrating, like that deep breath. Addresses the board, nice straight up. Oh, very nice. He's coming along. For his most difficult dive, that was fantastic. Total of 29.7. So a little bit difference here with diving as opposed to swimming. Okay, Owen is on the board. This is his first time of the season. He's been out with an injury. He's back. So this is his second time on the board as an Eagan Wildcat. Looking good. That was a tight tuck and a nice entry. Sounded loud, but that's just because it's his feet, 34.65. So back to the judging of diving. In a real dual meet, you'd have a coach, and the official. So a coach from each team. All right, we'll watch Gabe here. Nice approach. Full bounce. Nicely done. Got third last week. He's hoping to move up the ranks this week. 34.65. All right, now let's hone in on Jacob here. He's doing his second most difficult dive of the evening right now. It's going to be a pike. It's a 2.6. 2.6. Nicely done. A little bit to the side, but hey, we're going to take this. So generally in a dual meet, 46.8, that's a good score. Starting round 3 of diving is going to be Sam Johnson. Nice entry. Here at Eagan, we have 2 different diving boards, so as you'll see, the comfort level is a little bit different. You know, one is a little bit springier, and once you dial it in, you kind of have your board that there's no rule. If you want to start on the left board and then move to the right board, that's totally fine. Both of these boards are 3 years old, so a new board. Diving boards last about 11 years. Here goes Clark. Always makes me nervous when they're facing the board. Ooh, very nice entry. Boy, I'm excited to see him coming along. You know, last meet he 22.05. Here comes Owen with his third dive. It's a 1.5, so his easiest dive of the evening right here. Inward pike. Very nice. Nicely done, Mr. Kip. .63.
5.5 and 5. Gabe, 401B, inward dive, pike, 1.5.
1.5. This is Gabe's easiest dive of the evening is a 1.5, so it's this one right here. So it's actually the exact same dive that you just saw Owen Kip do. So even though he's facing the board, it's just an elementary one, but very nice. A 1.5 dive. That was very good scores. Let's see what the judges say. It's always interesting to see if they're even. Ooh, a 6 and a 4.5. Wow, definitely didn't agree there. Jacob's going to be doing a 2.2 here. Oh, this is going to be a good little twist and free. Jacob did go to state last year in diving. Ooh, very nice. Nice twist there at the end. But back to the judges. There's usually a judge from each school and then an official. But now during this virtual meet, there's only 41.25. So it's a little bit different because Prior Lake is judging his team along with the official. Here we have Jason and the official judging here. So it's a little bit different than having 3 judges and equaling them out. It's 4 completely different judges. All right, nice tuck. Sam completing that. We're in the 4th round of diving. There are 6 rounds. Got a 15.75 total.
3.5. Clark, 402C, inward tuck, 1.6. Owen, on deck.
All right, let's see how Clark is doing here on this inward somersault. It's a 1.6, so it's his easiest dive of the evening. This is in his first dive. In terms of degree of difficulty. Ooh, nice. Nice tuck, and he got out just in time. Looking good. I'm really liking. It's going to be great to see this guy mature through the years. 25.2. Owen's back on the board. Man, boy, is Owen doing well for being on the IR for a while. He's stepping right in. Nice entry there. Gabe is going to be doing a 2.2 here. Interesting statistic. The Frosts actually have a pool in their backyard with a starting block. Here you have a pool in your backyard with a starting block. Former owners had racers, and then they have 2 guys that are divers. They don't quite have a 1-meter board at their pool, but they do have a hot tub. Ooh, not quite the entry he wanted. He knows it, but he came out. And you know what I like? Listen to the Wildcat. Listen to the Wildcat fans. They're giving it up. When things don't go as planned, they step up and clap a little harder. I love it. Always a nerve-wracking. 16.5, so it's a 2 and a 3. All right, Jacob is going to be doing a 403B. It's going to be a somersault on pike. It's a 2.4. This is his 3rd most difficult dive of the evening. Jacob has really matured. That dive clock has really gone down. He used to spend close to 22 seconds on the board. Now he just gathers himself, gets in, boom. The man of Zen does it again. 45 even. 6.5 and a 6. And the multiplier works out for 45. That's why you want to do a higher degree of difficulty. Those 6s and 7s add up to big points. Sam's starting our 5th round of diving here. Very nice. Five and a 4, 22.95. For those of you at home watching and are judging the judges, just want to let you know there's been one time out of these first 22 dives that the judges have scored exactly the same. All right, Clark is addressing his most difficult dive. Ooh, nice twist. Wow, there was like a pause. I felt like I made eye contact with him. That was incredible. Jason gives him a thumbs up. Oh, look at that. I'm judging the judges, and it's 3.5 and a 3.5. We mention it, and they do it. So little did I know they had a Bluetooth headset inside listening to me, but maybe they're watching ETV instead of the dives. Here we have Owen here. So it's Clark. Ooh. Totals coming in. What do we got, judges? 5.5, 4.5. They knew I wasn't talking about them anymore. All right, over to the Froster children. Gabe's addressing the board. Really efficient practices when you have two boards, a separate diving well. We're just so blessed with the facilities here at Eagan. Improved lighting this year for all you photographers. Let's go, Gabe. Nice little twist at the end. I don't have the guts to throw up a number like the judges do, but let's see if they're consistent. 3 and 2.5. You know, we've been talking about the table and the technology involved here. There is no math here. The judges have pads. They actually have electronic pads that hit the scoreboard. The scoreboard hits the Colorado system. The Colorado feeds the e-dive. Once it gets to swimming, it feeds Meet Manager. Let's see what Jacob on this 2.5, 2.8. Ooh, that's a 2.8 dive. That's his most difficult dive. What did the judges say? Jason Hour's coaching 4 and a 4.5. That multiplies out nicely. You know, when you're in the pool area, when you come to Eagan, please enjoy the TiVo system. The Booster Club invested 7 years ago a TiVo system, so as soon as the divers are done, they walk over and see how their last dive was. What you got, Sam? A little twist, legs came together at the end. Looking good. 17.55. So these are the divers' last dives of the evening. Clark's looking at his 1.7. This is his tied for his second hardest dive of the evening. Getting his footing. Good entry. Judges agree, 4.5 for a total of 22.95. Owen's going to be doing his last dive. He saved his most difficult. Before this dive, his most difficult was a 2.3. He's jumping to a 2.7 here. 2.7. This is a hard dive for a guy who's been on the IR. Ooh. Nice. Boy, that was impressive. I love it. He's coming back with a vengeance. I mean, the arms are kind of out a little bit. Sixes, judges agree. 48.6. Boy, am I excited to see how Owen's going to be developing throughout this season. That's just fantastic. All right, Gabe is stepping up for his tied for his second hardest dive. Back somersault half twist. Little limbs were a little open, but completed the dive. 3.5 and a 4, results in a 9.3. Jacob's going to be finishing with the 2.3. This is the last dive of the evening. Get your cameras out, get your Snapchat out. Feel free to add them on Snapchat or Instagram. Jacob. My calves just hurt just watching him bounce on that board. Ooh. Oh, very nice. That last twist just was fantastic. 5.5 and a 6.5. That's a 41.40. So that concludes diving. So that there'll be a 10-minute warm minute for the pool. All right. So as we're concluding the diving, we in chatting with some of the kids, it's like, what is it that gets these kids going? I mean, you look at diving. I mean, that's gutsy to be on that board and be all alone, exposed. It's not like being in a football field and just, running around. But so we asked Jacob Frost, hey, what's your pre-meet tradition? And he says, I like to go out to the upper window with all the divers and just watch the swim team warm up. So, when I asked him, I was like, who inspires you? Because, Ben Frost is a good guy, but he's more of a hunter. Kind of played a little soccer. Ben is the father of all the Frost kids. So I was like, Jacob, who gives you inspiration? He's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, That's my inspiration. So his favorite away meet was U of M, his sophomore year of high school. So, checking in with some of the, the divers have been, historically, there was 4 years in a row where there was only one school that had 2 or more divers, and that was Eagan. And then it was, we actually had 3 divers who made state. Alex Cahill, who is a diver, not competing due to his ACL. I don't think he'll be ready for the tennis season either, but his pre-meet tradition is to eat Subway and hang out at the pool with the divers. So another great tradition. And then I said, who gives you inspiration? He said, each class above me. So looking up to those older kids, and and there must be something about the U of M, because when asked what his favorite meet is, it's like anything at the U of M. So actually he's here again, quintessential teammate. He can't compete, but he's here. He actually grabbed a stopwatch last week and started timing because we were short of timers. So Gabe Frost, I asked him, hey, what's your favorite swim and dive memory? It's like going to Canes with the divers. His favorite away meet, once again, it's the U of M. It's an invitational meet. Actually, at that invitational meet, that is one of the fastest meets in the country. Yes, you heard that right, in the country. There's a Catholic school that comes from Omaha, Creighton Prep. They take a private jet and fly in. They come shaved, tapered, fastskins and all, and that's kind of their meet of the year. Teams from Wisconsin have come, and actually about 6-7 years ago, teams from Washington State would come as well. Due to the restrictions now, there are no invitational meets, so that the maroon and gold meet is called off. There's actually 4 different flights. It's a great fundraiser for Lakeville South, Minneapolis South. So starts in the morning, and then they kind of go all day long. And Eagan, for the last 13 years, has been in that, for the last 11 years, has been in the fastest heats, the fastest meet. 12 and 13 years ago, they were in the second fastest meet, which met earlier on in the day. So now as the guys are warming up, we're going to slip right into swimming. And this isn't like soccer where the JV team plays on field A and the varsity plays on field B. The JV swims right before the other ones, and then the varsity gets going right after that. So it's nice to kind of have a back-to-back right away. So let's check the status here. All right, the official is checking with Coach Morgan. And then see what time we're going to get going here. A little bit of discussion here. I think Chris is just talking. Okay, there are no timers at these meets, but let me tell you about some of the technology. All right. So let's talk a little bit about the technology. Mentioned it at the last meet. If you go to an Eagan football game, if the officials don't show up, you don't have a game. Parents don't show up, you do have a game. Any other sport at the high school, if the parents don't show up, you still have a game, except for swim and dive. That's because all of the technology that's at the table is run by the parents. VJ Shrista and Paul Keller are doing the system. So if you can't quite see it on the left side of your screen, but there's a pad, a touch pad. So when the starter goes off, there's a starter, and that starts the clock. So the the scoreboard starts running. As soon as the pad is touched, each pad is connected to the Colorado, which is connected to the scoreboard. That calculates all of the scores, and then the Colorado feeds a software called Meet Manager. So both of those devices need to be run and managed each and every single time. So you have to switch it from 50s to 100s, and all of that is done before the meet. We struggled a little bit last week. Chris Morgan saw area for improvement, gave himself a self-evaluation, and said, I'll do better this week, and he did. So the meet is all loaded up and ready to go. So the last week on the medley relay, the A relay went a 144.44, as opposed to the Lakeville South relay went a 141.62. So a little bit of room for that A relay. It's quite a gap, 2.8 seconds. But it's a different kind of season. I mean, these club swimmers who usually swim year-round have not been swimming year-round, unless you're driving to Wisconsin. I think Chuck Steffen is the only one that has crossed state lines for freedom and been swimming over there. Looking at the A relays tonight, it's looks like the same lineup as last week. So Miguel San Jose is the freshman who will be starting off with the backstroke, and then the breast will be by Steffen, and Broman will do the fly with Keller coming home with the freestyle. Looking at Miguel, and we were asking him, who's your favorite teacher at Eagan High School? He said Mr. Heil. And quite talented kid, that Miguel San Jose. Little did you know that he can actually solve a Rubik's Cube in under 30 seconds. And he just burns it up, so. I think I kind of want to challenge Miguel to that. I kind of want to hand him that Rubik's Cube and see what he does with that. All right, the boys are clearing the pool. We're getting ready for that medley relay. If you're ever at the pool at Eagan, the events go in order of the record board. So it's a 200 medley relay, 2 free, 2 IM 50 free. After the 50 free, that's usually when diving is. We decide to do diving a little bit early. It reduces the warm-up time and keeps the meet going. So everyone's kind of looking around, waiting for the announcement. There we go. Now we're ready to be good in the swimming. So the first race is going to be the 2 medley relay junior varsity. Riley McRoberts is going to be in that leading off in the backstroke. McRoberts. This is his first year on the team. His pre-meet eat is a granola bar. When asked where do you get inspiration to get your swimming and do that, he said his faith in Christ. Favorite away meet is he loves swimming in the Richfield outdoor pool. That's a 50-meter pool. So it's a Olympic pool. All right, they're all lined up, ready to go here. Lanes 2 and 4 will be filled for the junior varsity here. They're Riley McRoberts. You see him right there in lane 2, getting ready to go. Clear goggles for McRoberts, the dark goggles. It's Tyler Burby, also a first-year swimmer on the team. His favorite teacher at Eagan High School is Mr. Hubbard. His secret talent is he's an artist. So ask Mr. Burby to draw something up for you. Appears to be an issue with the meat setup here. Officials conferring with Coach Anthony Schmidt. All right, still checking on the technology. Once again, it's always a struggle, and in my opinion, almost a minor miracle when these things all get pulled off. And it's not a simple thing there down there at the scorer's table. So let me take a little look-see, see where we're at. All right, Colorado is talking to the meet manager, so we're ironing some things out. All right, when this all gets working, you're going to hear a loud cheer from all these parents who never have to sit at that scorer's table. It's quite the nerve-wracking moment. 2003, I was at that table, and what qualified for me to sit there was I owned a laptop. Booster Club had no laptops. So if you had a personal laptop, you had to work the table. So thankful for that Booster Club. Actually, once again, we just got 2 new computers, laptops. They're running well, but it's just that Colorado that's given us a little bit of problem. So looking back at these swimmers that are going in lane 2, the second swimmer is going to be the senior Luke Arvidsson. Luke's older brother Mitch actually attends the University of Iowa. Ended up swimming together. Lucas fell in love with it and ended up doing 2 different clubs after joining the high school team. Kind of wanted him improve and continue on, so good for him. It's quite the dedication. And then the second JV, it'll be all underclassmen. Actually, an 8th grader, William Wen. Most middle schoolers in Eagan swim for the middle school team, and actually we're the only district in the conference that actually offers middle school swimming. All the others, if you just get thrown in with the high school team. So, but if you can qualify for a JV varsity time, if you can qualify for JV varsity time, you can swim on the varsity team, but you need to get a... All right, the Colorado is a line now. You wait for 16 seconds, and you tap the pad to get the times in and reset it. So this is good news. Mr. Keller once again worked his magic, waiting on lanes 5 and 6 to tap in. Reset it, lane 6, lane 5. All right, that's good news. They'll reset that. Then we should be good to go.
Boys, 200 yard. Medley relay.
Okay, we always start with the backstroke in this relay because it'd be impossible to relay start with a backstroker who's not already in the water. Up high. Nice, they go in. Riley McRoberts in lane 2. Did you see how high he got? He really arched his back to try to get as much air under his back and get in that water as possible. Tyler Burby. Interesting fact, you see the flags that are above the pool. The only time that they come into play is during the backstroke. You missed the turn, but now when they come in for the touch, they count how many strokes, and then they just kind of swim underwater to hit that pad. Ooh, that start in lane 2, I'm telling you, Will New looked like he jumped a little early, but officials on the other side of the pool, who knows? Oh, sorry, not Will New. That was William Wen. Wrong last name. My apologies. My apologies again. It's Lucas Arvidsson was in lane 2, but he's good to go. Making up some ground on the breaststroke. Very technical stroke, trying to go get that kick and the glide. Okay, on the blocks in lane 2 that's Carson Rivard in the water, and then it's Hennis Cook that's in there. Hennis Cook is really stepping it up, really becoming a versatile swimmer as he's doing a lot of butterfly this year. Last year, not as much, but it goes to show you how versatile he is. Medley relay finishes off with the freestyle. Lucas Hanna is queued up in lane 2, but first in the water in lane 4, that's Alex Bango. Lucas Hanna going all out. As you watch a freestyle here, the power is in the kick. Power is in the kick, and then the arms obviously continue to go as well. But as they're coming in, you got to kind of make sure that you just don't breathe. Once you get to those flags, breathing should be not even thought of, because you can breathe as much as you want later. A little bit of breathing down here and for Alex Bango, but he'll be learning that, just a sophomore. All right, that was a junior varsity. Now will be the varsity. All right. Due to restrictions, the boys can't be lined up right away, so there's always the March of the Athletes. Feel free to hum a tune, whether it be the Olympic or the Eagan fight song. Due to trademarks, we cannot play any music across ETV. But if I could, it'd be the Final Countdown by Europe. Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. All right, your backstrokers are going to be Derek Bango in lane 2, and then it's Miguel San Jose, lane 4. Lane 4 is the A relay, lane 2 is the B relay. Okay, now watch the backstroke flags and watch the swimmers. They'll count their strokes, and then they'll flip, and then they'll gather their legs up to get that push off the board, off the wall. Then you can do the underwater, and how strong your underwaters are is how strong you're going to be in this stroke. So, all right, coming in next, Chuck Steffen is diving in, lane 4, and Will New is in lane 2. Let's see here how we're doing here.
In the pool, lane 2.
Big stroke. Stefan is doing a long underwaters. Chuck getting a nice big long stroke. Broman up on the blocks in lane 4 for that butterfly. Nicely timed on that start here. Coming in is Bowie. Nice. Harrison Bowie. It's nice. These butterflies are going. I'm liking Bowie. What a versatile swimmer. Last year is all 500, all distance. Now he's doing a lot of butterflying. Broman coming in. Teeing up for that last swimmer, and Thomas Keller. All right, one more. Breathing's optional. Ooh, nicely timed. 24:57. That's a good split for Broman there on the 50. On the 26:84 and for Bowie in lane 2. Keller bouncing off. The time to beat from last week is a 1:44.44. Let's see where these boys are at. Keller coming in hard. Breathing's optional. I like it. Head down. Crashes the wall in. 1:43.52. Congratulations, gentlemen. 0.9 cut from last week. And it's a 1:51.46 for the JV. Very good swim. I'm telling you, that is like, not JV, but the B relay. So 1:51.46. Sorry, due to COVID, our stats person is not here. So 1:51. How does that compare to last week, you asked me? Well, let me tell you. Last week they had 1:52.64. So both relays have shaved, almost a second. Over a second and almost a second. So nice work, guys. You're going to see that more and more as the season progresses. Chris Morgan is just really beating these kids up with the yardage. But it's purposeful yardage. It's not garbage yardage. Over the Christmas break, usually they're swimming 6 miles a day. Then when they go to the weight room, 6 miles a day. Think about your life. You don't even walk 6 miles a day. Probably don't even walk 6 miles a week. These boys are swimming 6 miles a day. So now we're in the 200 freestyle junior varsity. This is 2 lanes. In lane 2 is freshman Kuldeep Ratchabatuni. Lane 3, Ben Currens. Lane 4, Reese Haynes Cook. All right, these boys are, in a meet like this where it's virtual, this looks like practice, doesn't it? You can tell these boys train together just right there. In most meets, what you end up doing is you go every other lane so you don't get any wake. But Morgan wants these boys to at least be right next to each other. Instead of racing air, you're at least training with your bros. Coming in, this is good. They're coming in strong. Heenis Cook is leading the pack right now with Curran coming in, and Kuldeep coming in third here. It's a gutsy race. 8 lengths of the pool. This is the second longest event in high school meets. As these boys move into college, the longer meet is the mile. So that is definitely much longer than this 200. Good tight flip turns here. The walls really come into play. The push that you can get is phenomenal. It's all legs. And that's, if you look at your body, your biggest muscles are in your legs, not your arms. So when you get that flip turn, you want to get tight and you want to push that off. Nice push, and then you want to streamline under the water. Some of the best streamliners go out past the flags. All right, they're coming in for the touch. Nice touch there. Coming in strong. Enos Cook with a 2:15.23, a 2:21.53, and a 2:21.67. It's almost like they train together. Little known fact is none of those guys swam the 200 last week. So good for them. That's a gutsy race to have to go all out for 2. They had never done that. They hadn't done that last week. All right. Now we have the varsity. They're lining up. Some of the similar faces that you saw last week. The only new face in this race was going to be Miguel San Jose in lane 4. All right, and they're off. Harrison Bowie is in lane 2, the junior. Lane 3, Johnny Mezaritsky. And lane 4 is Miguel San Jose, the freshman. So these guys have times from last week. Looking at their times, Bowie just went over a 1:59. He was a 1:59.61 last week. And Mezaritsky was a 1:59.46. So your guys from Eagan were within 0.1, 0.2. Look at the newcomer, Miguel San Jose, is going, hey, big guys, you're not leaving me. He's hanging in there. Good flip turns. Harrison Bowie last week swam the fly. Probably his most memorable race of his career was prelims of sections last year, where he grabbed that 16th place in section prelims, got that last spot, got that point. Eventually, Eagan won the 3AA for their 7th consecutive title by 1 point. Who was the 1 point from? Was it Alex Cahill? Was it Jonathan Chambers? Was it Harrison Bowie? It was from all of them. It's what makes this team a team. It's just incredible the way that these guys line up. Okay, as this race is progressing, Miguel San Jose is really stretching it out. Doing a good job. Mezaretsky's trying to hang in. Bowie's fading a little bit. Okay, the only guy who didn't swim it last week is the guy who's going to win this race. Quite impressive. A lot of versatility from San Jose. There's a lot of bright lights for him to come in the future. Look at him coming in. What time are we going to get, guys? What time are we going to get? Nice. Miguel San Jose, a 1:54.13, and then a 1:58.19, and Mezaritsky. And then, I'm sorry, and then, oh yeah, and then a 2 minutes 67. So how's that work from last week? Bowie added about a second. Not a big deal this time of year. Mezaretsky went a 1:59.46 last week. This time he went a 1:58.19. He's shaving. And then, wow. Lane 4, I'm telling you. Miguel San Jose, what a nice surprise. Shouldn't be surprised. He trains hard, but still. First time in a varsity event this year. So the IMers are up for the JV. These are all 4 strokes here. William Wynn in lane 2, Tyler Burby in lane 3, Vedan Shrista in lane 4. So they start off with a fly, then they go to the back, then they do a breast, and then they do a free. So watch on the transition as they come into the wall. This is where most of the time is lost or gained, because you're changing strokes. So as you go into this butterfly, they're going to grab the wall and then just go backstroke here. This transition right here is the second most simple one of this. Okay, now as they're going into the wall, camera's zoomed in on Burby. Look at how he turns, flips, gets that push. Get out there. That's when that is just so key, because they can't see the wall. So it's a stroke count from the backstroke flags. So they're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Grabs the wall. Now you go breaststroke. That's the most difficult transition in this, is going back to breast here, because you're just sliding. You don't want to crash your head. This is, as Chris Morgan says, the 50-cent piece in this dollar race, because it's quite a bit different compared to most strokes. Wow. Little did I know what a breaststroker William Wynn is. Just beating down Burby here. Just chasing him down. Burby in your middle lane. William Wynn in this second lane. Vedan Shrista also letting it all hang out. Now on this touch here, both hands have to hit the wall, and then they go freestyle. This is a most simple transition of all of them, is breast to free. All right, good touches. All right. They're coming in hard. Now, I mean, the body, swimming is the only sport that uses every muscle of every inch of your body. And yet, then when you're swimming all 4 strokes, oh my goodness, like your whole body is just getting beat down. Watch these guys. Nice touch in. 228.69, 230.10. These boys are like, oh, I'll wait to get out of this pool. Just hanging it out. Well done. Gasping for air. Nice job. Nice finishes. That's the junior varsity. All right, now they're trying to clear the pool, and like I said, that's tough to get out. Now comes your varsity IM. So these guys had their seed times from last week. These are the exact same swimmers as when we swam against Lakeville South. We'll see how the times go. I really like this one. I like Hans and Chuck going after it, because what you'll see is Broman, Hans Broman. He'll get out on the butterfly. He'll be ahead of Stefan, goes to backstroke, then Stefan catches up, goes to breaststroke. Stefan extends the lead, and then it goes to freestyle, and then Broman gets out a little bit more. So we'll it goes to show you the variety that's needed and how to be well-rounded. In college, there is a 400 medley relay, which is just a brutal race. So as predicted, Broman has about a body length. Now it goes into the backstroke. This is where Chuck has real nice arm paddles here. But let's not forget about Victor Santoyo Lopez there in lane 2. He goes, hey, big boys, I'm coming too. The 10th graders keeping up with these seniors. Good flip turn. Boy, I like Chuck's flip turn going into that wall. Okay, this is where Chuck goes past Broman. Now, watch this technical turn going into this backstroke to breaststroke. You got to know, Chuck knew exactly where. Broman slid in a little bit more. Now, this is where it kind of extends out. Chuck's going to get those scoopers going. Santoyo Lopez keeping in there as well. Boy, he has a couple good seniors to follow on this stroke. Chuck doing a nice pull out underwater. His training leading up to the season is good. Hans was a captain of the soccer team. Soccer is my sport. I appreciate the running involved, but it doesn't have the intensity of swimming. So going into this freestyle, it's going to be a little too much for Broman to catch up when it's over a body length. But we'll see what happens. Looking at those splits, it's a 40-38 and so that was about 2 seconds slower for Broman on the. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was I'm reading the wrong split. My meet sheet is the exact reverse of the scoreboard, so I get confused often. Good times coming in. Stefan touching in at a 206.32. Broman at a 207.85. So that 207.85 for Broman compared to last week is exactly a second faster. The 206.32 is over a second faster for Stefan. Wow, did these guys taper for a dual meet? I don't think so, but boy, are the times improving. Nicely done. And Victor Santoyo Lopez a 216.48. How does that compare? 216, he shaved 0.2 off. So over a second shave for both Broman and Stefan. So that's pretty exciting to see that. Oh boy, here we go. So you go from the most versatile to the one-trick pony. Splash and dash, down and back, 50 free. Junior varsity, all lanes are filled. Lucas Hanna in lane 1, Dovin Chong in lane 2, Lucas Arvidsson lane 3, lane 4, Tyler Sitter, lane 5, Carson Rivard, Neelan Ambalam is in lane 6. Our apologies, our camera doesn't quite catch Lucas Hanna in lane 1. Due to COVID restraints, sorry we can't show you lane 1. We'll tell you all about it. These guys are coming in. Breathing should be optional once you're past the flags, boys. Head down. All right. Lucas Hanna going in hard. Finished as a 31-11. 31-11. Okay, now come your varsity guys. All right, looking at how they did last week. Let's see what our lineup is in comparison. Santoyo Lopez won a 23.01 last week. Sorry, the fans up here are just so slow blowing. Thomas Keller last week won a 23.24. And Shrista did not swim this event last week. So Keller won a 23.24. Santoyo Lopez won a 23.01. And we have Ronan Shrista in lane 2. 2 seniors in 2 and 3. Thomas Keller, lane 4. All right, we gotta get under 23, boys. Let's go. Everyone else is shaving. One second. Look at these guys go. Look at the power. Look at Keller's splash. Just boom. Big push off the wall. Got to get out past the flags. They're coming in. The motor's in the back. Races in the middle. Santoyo Lopez is getting out. The clock is at 20. He's touching in. Nicely done. He got a 22.95. 22.95. He heard me begging. 22.95 compared to last week. And then Keller comes in at a 23.27. He added 300ths. And then Rodi Shrista just over that 24-second mark. Congratulations, Mr. Santoyo Lopez, getting that first 22 of the year. All right, we're going to have a quick break here because usually it's diving, and so a lot of these guys end up might be into that butterfly. So as we're taking a quick break here, so that 200 freestyle relay, it's that's where you want to get your 50 guys all lined up right then and there. Emilio Santoyo Lopez, if I'm not mistaken, was a section winner for that, or was real close this year. Also, he does really well at the 100 as well. So it's real important to have fast 50s, because fast 50s translates into a fast relay. Fast 2 free relay, so very good. Well, it's called a 10-minute break, so we're gonna touch out here. Why don't you, unlike when you're at the pool area, there are no concessions, so grab yourself a beverage, sit back and relax. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Freestyle now. It's going to be some the same folks as last week. It's Dobbin Chong in lane 2, Alex Bango in lane 3, the sophomore, and Will New in lane 4, the senior. Butterfly, it's a very technical stroke. That dolphin kick is like no other in this sport. If you want good abs, I mean, that's a sport to do, or that's a stroke to do. Yeah, last week they opted out of a 100-yard JV. They also opted out of the 500. We also have a 500 JV tonight. So guys are all lined up here. Coming to touch in. It looks like Dobbin Chong is going to finish at 106.98. Then it's a 108.26 and a 108.24. Wow, those guys are close coming in on that. Okay, varsity swimmers. How does it look compared to last week? It's Hans is the only one that is swimming the 100-yard fly again. Excuse me, Derek Bango did as well last week. Derek came in a 102.67. Broman had a 58.64. So we'll see how they do this week. All right. Hitting that wall hard. Broman getting that big underwater. Needs to get a bigger kick. Bango coming in strong. Santoyo Lopez hanging in there. Broman getting that big, those arms coming out. One more stroke. The other thing that's weird about this is it's timing coming into the wall. Sometimes you're a half stroke away. Do I take another stroke? Do I not? Or do I just shimmy underwater? If you remember the Michael Phelps Olympic, he just shimmied underwater and touched in with a 100th of a second. So it's good stroke cadence by Broman there, coming off the wall. Prior Lake has some flyers, so Broman has competition even though he can't see it. Coming in hard. The time to beat from last race is 58.64. He improves that time. Goes in at a 57.69. Santoyo Lopez also touching in at a 103.74. Oh, I'm sorry. Santoyo Lopez had a 104.87. And then the 103.74 is Derek Bango. So looking at the pool, on the lower part of your screen is lane 1. The top part is lane 6. So now we've got the 100-yard freestyle junior varsity. Lucas Hanna, you will be able to see him this time. He's in lane 2. He also did the 50. He was the one that was in lane 1. And they're off. It's Lucas Hanna, the freshman, in lane 2. Tyler Sitter is in lane 3, the senior. And Riley McRoberts is in lane 4. And Lucas Hanna. Lucas Hanna is pre-meet tradition, is eating a sandwich or hanging out and pumping up my teammates. His favorite movie is Unfriended. I haven't seen that. It's good to get that recommendation. You know, you're looking at Lucas swimming hard. Little do you know that he actually plays 3 different instruments. Okay, they're coming in. Sitter's doing a real nice job. He's been working out with the Marines. He's going to enter the Marine Corps after this year. Nice touch in. Sitter finishes off with a 1:53. Lane 4 was Riley McRoberts with a 1:03.85. Lucas Hanna, 1:11.64. So comparing that to last week, Tyler shaved over 3 seconds off of last race. Fantastic job. Lucas shaved 4 seconds off. Man, those are some big cuts for. Goes to show you these boys are just getting into shape right now. Any other year, these guys would be, you don't see that big of a drop because they've been going for a while. But all right, this is your varsity race. All right, you have the same racers as last time. Emilio Santoyo Lopez in the middle, lane 3. You have Thomas Keller in lane 4. And then you have Roni Shrista, lane 2. Actually, Shrista did not swim this race last time. Emilio Santoyo Lopez is right there with Thomas Keller, just a half arm length away. Shrista doing a nice job. Dink gets a nice kick. Nice underwater. Emilio, the splits are looking at 24.69, 24.83. So 0.2 difference between the Santoyo Lopez and Keller. Boy, it's nice to have a race. These guys are pushing each other, and you can see it right here and right now. All right, it's coming in, and it looks like Thomas Keller out-touches him with a 50.97. And then Santoyo Lopez a 51.34. So they switch orders from the 50, 54.26. So how does that compare to last week, you ask? Last week, Emilio Santoyo Lopez swam a 51.44, so he's shaved a 10th. Thomas Keller last week, he swam a 53.35, so he shaved over 2 seconds off. So he's getting into shape as well. So now we have a 400-yard freestyle junior varsity. Not quite sure why these guys don't swim with the varsity, since there are two lanes that are available, but it's not for me to say.
For the Wildcats, lane 3, sophomore Ben Curtis. And lane 4, sophomore Reese Cook.
All right, the two swimmers here are both sophomores. Ben Currens is in lane 3. Lane 4 is Reese Cook. Let's get to know these guys a little bit better. It's always nice to talk to the athletes and know them as humans and not just athletes. So let's see their view on the world. My apologies once again. Papers are flying everywhere. Reese Cook, it's his favorite pre-meet tradition, getting Subway with the team. Favorite movie, wow. The 80s fan is, he likes The Breakfast Club. His favorite teacher is Mr. Mass. His favorite event is the 100 free. I think that's his favorite event because he swum the 500 and he knows how much this sucks. This is just a hard event, man. His favorite swim and dive memory, of course, the Section 2020 section win. Wow. Eagan pulled that out with 1 point. It went down to the final relay against Rosemount. Final swimmer, we were behind. We pull it out, touch in, and people that gave Eagan 1 point, which made them 7 straight section champs. There's no other boys sport in Eagan High School that has that type of pedigree or that long of a section title streak. I mean, 7 years in a row to be section champs is pretty unconscionable. One could argue, and probably win the argument, that on the girls' side, the volleyball team has a more prolific record than that, seeing that they've gone to section state championships 7 times in the last 7 years. They won 4 of those times, lost 3 of those times, but that's pretty incredible, which by definition they were section champs if they're going to the state championship game as well. So so on the girls' side, that sport does have as many, if not more, section titles than this boys swim team here. But in terms of the boys side, I mean, even thinking back to last year, I don't even think there was another boys section title champion in Eagan, except for the swim and dive team. They're going for that 8th title this year. Things are looking a little bit different. We'll see what it boils down to. But what they did for the girls is they did hold the section meet similar to this, only instead of all virtual, they had 3 teams at one pool, 3 teams at another pool, and then merged the times. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there's plans that that will probably happen, and maybe at the same venue, but it would have to be a large venue if spectators are involved there. And even if there aren't spectators involved, they're trying to keep the athletes apart. So the 500 continues. Boy, this is you've never swam a 500, just walk 500 yards. See what that feels like. I mean, if you think about it, this is running up and down a football field 5 times. But instead of running, you're swimming. I mean, just a tough event right here. Each one of the guys has counters at the end to keep track of how many laps you've done. Enos Cook is coming into his 15th. You swim 20 of these. Now watch him as he hits the wall. What you want to do is get close to the wall and get a nice push. There it is. Try to get that stroke. You'd like to see a stroke happen before he takes a breath, but at this point in the race, that's difficult to do. So what I mean by that is your streamline, you get all that inertia off the wall. So here he comes again. Watch his flip turn. Good push. He kits out. Take a stroke. There he did it. Nice. Takes that stroke and then takes a breath. Keeps that push going as much as possible. So it's really difficult to hold your energy inside and bottle it up for the last length. So Enos Cook is coming in, and he'll be hearing the bell. Ben Currens is off and going. He's into a smooth stroke himself, Ben Currens. The bell indicates the leader is 1 lap from being done. Boy, doesn't that sound great. Gotta say, that bell is probably the best I've heard in this pool area in 3 years. Look at the size of that thing. I thought I was in Philadelphia for a moment. We've seen this Cook coming in hot. Coming in. Let's see if... Put your head down. No more breathing. You can breathe later. Oh! I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong swimmer. As Ben Currens there. And Reese Enos Cook. Put your head down. No more breathing. You can breathe later. And he takes one more breath, but that's all right. 6:07:36. Not a bad time for a JV swim. Last week, listen to the teammates cheering on Ben Currens. All right, sprint it in, Ben. There you go. Nice touch in. 6:29:85. Very nice. Gutsy swim.
Event 16, boys, 500 yards, freestyle, varsity.
I got to tell you, I've been looking forward to this race. I mean, what you're having here is Mezaretsky is, this is his 3rd year on the team. In all 3 years, he's always been the long-distance swimmer. For whatever reason, he's battled some sickness, has gotten through, so never quite has a full season. But he does great when he's there. Like I mentioned, Harrison Bowie stepped up big time at section prelims last year. And then out of nowhere today, Miguel San Jose comes out hot in the 200. So one thing is, if you are familiar with swimming at all, they always seed the fastest swimmer in the middle. So one would say, So it's like the flying V, and you see that at the Olympics as well, where 3 and 4 are the fast lanes. Here, lane 3 goes fastest is in lane 3, and then it goes lane 2, and then lane 4 is the seeds. So Coach Chris Morgan, even though Miggy didn't swim this last week, he's thinking that his seed time for Miguel San Jose will be faster than Bowie's or Mezaritsky's. What's very common to see is certain teams that really specialize in distance events. So there's a time when you had the Mitch Herreras, some real long distance swimmers for Lakeville North, because as you're training day in and day out, you got to have long sets, and who's keeping up and who's staying with you. Eagan really has at a disadvantage compared to the Lakeville schools. They only train in a 6-lane pool, so they only have 6 sets. And then in Lakeville, they have 8 lanes, so they can spread the kids out and say, hey, distance swimmers, you swim in lanes 1, 2, and then sprinters swim in lanes 3, 4, mid-range swim in 5, 6, JV 7, 8. Here it's real tight, and fortunately due to the restrictions, it's actually gotten more dangerous for the sport of swimming because they can't swim all at the same time. So they start 2 kids at one end of the pool, 2 kids at the other, and then in the middle of the pool they have to be careful doing the freestyle or butterfly. They have to stop their stroke till they're by the other guys. Actually, it would be safer to have all the boys start on one side of the pool, and chlorine will kill anything, and you're halfway underwater. Oh boy, is this a good race. I mean, look at these guys. People talk about teenagers and peer pressure. They always talk about the negatives, meths, vaping, smoking. Look at the peer pressure, positive peer pressure. In the middle of the pool, lanes 3 and 4. They're going after it. Positive peer pressure. I want to stay with you. I want to keep up with you. Miggy is pulling away. He's got about a body length. Mezaretsky's still gutting it out. Stepping up big time. Bowie is hanging in there as well. Coming off for a flip turn. Bowie gets a decent push. Hey, want to take time right now. You know, if one of these kids went down, I've never seen it in 13 years here, but if we had an emergency, we'd go to the urgency room. They're a generous sponsor of Eagan Swim and Dive. So please support them. Also, if you look at Captain Chuck Steffen, the Breaststrokers' teeth, they're straight. If you want straight teeth, go to Minnesota Orthodontics, a generous supporter of Eagan Swim and Dive. Tell them Eagan Swim and Dive sent you, and your teeth want to look like Chuck Steffen. All right. This is kind of where you see the race unfold a little bit. Miguel has a little bit more in the tank during this. They're in lap 15 here. Mezaretsky is still just gutting it out. I'm telling you, he's a joy to watch. He's just kicking and going like crazy. He just hangs in there, hangs in there, hangs in there. I just love it. Just a really gutsy kid. All right, coming in. Miguel has 4 lengths of the pool left. Good news is we get to hear that bell one more time. Mezaritsky hits that wall, gets a nice push. Harrison Bowie takes a sneak breath. I'm thinking Harrison Bowie is going to be catching Mezaritsky and passing him in the last lap and a half here. Harrison likes to negative split this, and he saves it in the tank. Mezaritsky is really going out hard, which I appreciate, but it's hard to hang on to it in a 500. The bell is given to San Jose. Mezaritsky hears the bell as well. Says, is it for me? I wish it was. He's a body half a length away from Bowie. Bowie hits the wall. All right, this is where guys just go all out. So if you're not next to him in the last lap, you're probably not going to catch him because everyone sprints it out. Historically, this is a faster lap than the last 15. Mezaritsky is gutting it out. San Jose touches in with a 5:17.04. It's a good time this time of year. Mazeritski, 5:23.89.68. And Bowie touches in at a 5:28.99. Let's compare that to last week, if you will. Miguel last week went a 5:18.41, so he's shaved 1.4 seconds. And then Mazeritski went a 5:23. Boy, he shaved 14 seconds off of last week. Nicely done, Mr. Mazeritski. Last week, Bowie swam the 100 fly. So there's a quick break here. Actually, not as quick as we'd like, I don't think. It's probably 10 minutes because Miguel and Johnny and Harrison are also on the 2 free relay. And so the 2 free relay swims right after this, where it's a down and back. So a little break for Johnny Mazeritski, who's on the he's actually on the A relay. Excuse me, the B relay for varsity. Bowie is not swimming, so this break is for Mr. Mazeritski, and we owe it to him, and he'll take that break. So. Boy, we just got some great news. That winner of that last 500 with a time of 5:17.04, that is his birthday present. Miguel San Jose turns 15 years old today. So happy birthday, Miguel San Jose. May it be a memorable one. Fantastic. Make sure you get that driver's permit so you can start driving yourself to swim practice. Give your parents a break. So my birthday gift to you, Mr. San Jose, is not to sing. I'll just tip my hat and admire your reflective goggles. So looking at last week's 2 free relay on the varsity side, Coach Morgan is, you're doing something different here. When you swim against certain teams, you know what they have, you know what you have, and you mess around with the lineups a little bit to try to beat them out on the relays, or put a medley guy in a 2 free relay. So the 2 free relay looks a bit different this week than last week at the Lakeville South meet. For the varsity, he had a Santoyo Lopez, Emilio Santoyo Lopez, that is, Roni Shrista, Thomas Keller, and then Santoyo Lopez, again, Victor. Tonight he's going with on his A relay it's going to be Thomas Keller, Hans Broman, and then the Santoyo Lopez brothers. So I guess looking at that a little bit closer, the only change is he's swapping Roni out and putting Hans Broman in. It's going to be a fun one. I definitely appreciate Monica Lopez, who takes tons of pictures of the kids. I didn't have any pictures of my kids, but thanks to her, we have them. So her camera should be going overtime at that last half of that 2 free relay for the varsity in lane 4, having 2 boys in there. That's fantastic. As we mentioned last week, this program is riddled with brother combinations. I mean, if you just think about what brothers are here tonight, it's the Frosts, it's the Bangos, it's Emilio Santoyo Lopez. Historically, we've had 2 Kellers on the team. We've had 2 Bromans on the team at 3 different times. We've had, backing it up a little bit further, we had 2 Sundries on the team. Now we're in the early 2000s. We've also had it where we had a swimmer-diver combination. That is the Gittes family. And so it's very common that once these parents have their sons under the tutelage of Chris Morgan, they know the pedigree that he teaches and life lessons, they get their other kids in the pool. The other brother combination is Arvidsson family. Lucas is swimming tonight. He got the bug from his older brother, Mitch. So Mitch graduated. He goes to the University of Iowa. Actually, he's trying to beat the snow and drive back there to tomorrow night. Be a little late for the Iowa Hawkeye first volleyball game where they take on Indiana. Back to swimming here. Your JV 2 free relay. You have a race in lane 2 and lane 4. Lane 2 is Riley McRoberts. And then lane 4 is Jacob Frost, the diver. Boy, I wish I would have paid closer attention. Being the diver, he probably had a good entry. I like that. The arm's going, digging in. Yep, now it's in the water. In lane 4, 8th grader Vidan Shrista. Lane 2, Kuldeep Racha Batuni. So they're just down and backs. You'll see Mr. Hanna lining up in lane 2. He missed his 50 free, so you'll get to see it now because this 200 free relay is a 50. You can get a faster time when you're not. And then in lane 4 is Tyler Sitter. You can get a faster time in a relay because you don't have to wait for the start. You can kind of be rocking and have your inertia going forward. As long as you keep your foot on that starting pad, you're good. Well, the second it leaves that, it could be a DQ. Now, you're not going to see a lot of DQs tonight. There's only one official. Lucas Arvidsson ready to dive in the water in lane 4. There he's off. Ben Currens is all queued up. Another 50. He's like, man, I just swam a 500 in JV. I'm ready to go for a down and back. Just like that. All right. Arvidsson touching in. 146.25. All right, good finish by Currens there. Okay, now the varsity. The time to beat is a 1:37.42. That was what they swam against Lakeville South. So that's the team for the A. That's a time for the A relay. The B relay, the time to beat is a 1:41.94. So lane 2, this is what we took the break for. Mezaritsky swam the 500. Now he's leading off in this 200 free. He's saying, hey, that was just a warm-up. I got another down and back in me. So he's the leadoff. Thomas Keller is the leadoff in lane 4. So I'm going to try to watch the splits closely because what this is this will be this 50. This is exactly what a 50-yard would be. They were racing it. So we'll compare, see what Thomas Keller does with a still start here. Big push off the wall. All right, Mezareski gets a decent push. Engine is going hot and heavy there. Broman is queued up for lane 4, being that second swimmer. He's off. 23.33 for Thomas Keller. A little bit slower than his 50 free tonight. His 50 free went at 23.27. Okay, let's see what Broman's split is coming in here. No more breathing now, just crash into the wall. Crashes in with a 23. Relay is Roni Shrista. All right, let's see if they can beat that 137.42. Oh, my Lanta, they crushed it. 134.34. Oh, man. 134.34. That's 2.9 seconds faster than Lakeville South. Nice racing, A relay. And the B relay came in at a 138.14, and that shaved off 2.8 seconds. So good job by the relay, Mezaretsky, Stefan, Bango, and Shrista.
Boys, 100-yard backstroke.
Okay, backstroke. This will be looking at this lineup here. Last 13 years, probably the youngest backstroke lineup I've ever seen. For your varsity, it's all freshmen. For your junior varsity, it's an 8th grader, a 9th grader, and a 10th grader. Alex Bango gets in as the elder statesman as a sophomore. Okay, boys are lining up for this junior varsity. The boys are off. In lane 2, it's Kuldub Racha Batuni. Lane 3 is Alex Bango. Lane 4 is Vedant Shrista. Oh, once again, this is when the where the backstroke flags really come in. Count your strokes, hit that wall, and boom. So it isn't as much the speed of the arm, but it's how long your arm can get and how much water it can press. Good flip turns there. Good push off the wall. Boys are looking good. Alex Bango doing a nice job. Slow arms, fast legs. Keying it up here. Okay, they're coming in for this last 50 here. Officials walking right alongside them. Alex Bango, now you'll watch him go underwater and get that last push there. 114.27 for Bango. 116.31 for Shrista. And then it's a 121.92 for Kuldip. Good swimming, guys. So now comes your all freshman lineup here. Looks like Chris Morgan has a plan in his lineup. None of these guys swam varsity last week as backstrokers, so this is going to be a good time setting here. So Tyler Burby is in lane 2. Lane 3, Derek Bango is lane 3. Lane 4 is Riley McRoberts. All of these guys are freshmen. Derek Bango out to a really nice start. It's real nice for his brother Alex to warm up that center lane for him, isn't it? Those boys are just a year apart. Nice to have that brotherly competition, brotherly love there. All right. It's coming in strong. Like I said, there is no time to compare to last week because he hasn't swam it before. Derek coming in hard. Nice. He gets sub-minute, 59.53. Nice job, Mr. Bango. Looks like it's going to be Kuldip next. Comes in at is Tyler Burby next at a 109.72. And then a 113.45 by Riley McRoberts. So nice job, Derek Bango, getting under that minute. 59.53. Now we're going to the breaststroke junior varsity. We're going to have the breaststrokes left and then the 400-yard freestyles left. All right, Neelan Ambalam in lane 2, it's sophomore. Lane 3 is senior Lucas Arvidsson. Lane 4 is Carson Rivard, 9th grader. This is always interesting to watch because it's kind of up and down. Is it mostly up and down? Is it mostly forward? What is best? So a lot of action going on here. Right there in the center. Lucas is doing a really nice job keeping his form, keeping that streamline. He's really tight. It would have been nicer to have a cleaner touch on that wall. Two hands get a better push, but he's doing fine. He's keeping his line nicely. Ambalam coming along. He's moving kind of right to left in the lane a little bit, kind of drifting a little bit. Want to straighten that out. Carson Rivard coming in. Real smooth stroke. Not as much up and down, more up and out. Arvidsson coming in just... This looks like he's still in the first 25, so he's looking nice and strong. All right, Lucas Arvidsson touching in at a 119.16. And then a 124.36 by Mr. Rivard. And then Ambalan touching in at a 133.22. Excuse me, 21. I believe Lucas did swim that breaststroke last week. Let me see if I can find that. I stand corrected. He did not. Oh, yes, he did. He went a 119. Where is it here? 119.63. So he shaved a half second off. And then he's the only one that swam that last week from that crew there. Varsity Breaststrokers are lined up. Looking at the lineup from last week. Will New, Chuck Steffen swam this. The new arrival this week is William Wynn. Chuck Steffen is up and out. Love that streamline. They go so far, they're like half the pool is underwater. Just a really nice out. All right, nice turn there by all the boys. Good underwaters there. Will New was on the section team last year at the breaststroke. Chuck's touching in at a 29.96 for that first leg. 33.23 for Will. Will New, that is. Will Wynn touches in at a 34.38. So coming in now in the back half. Steffen went a 103.71 last week, whereas New went a 112.01. Let's see how those match up to this week. Steffen coming in. Doesn't quite, a little shave. 0.18 shave. He went ducked under there with a 103.54 tonight. And then Will New does a 110.75 compared to his 112 last week. And then it's a 114.01. So now there's a brief break here for the 4 free relay. Due to the fact that a couple of these swimmers at the breaststroke are swimming the varsity here. Actually, as I look at it closer, they actually aren't. Not sure why we're taking a pool break here when so when Steffen New are not on the 4 free relays at all. I will say Carson Rivard, who swam the breaststroke JV, is the 3rd swimmer on the JV relay. Actually, Will New. This is for Will New. He's in that first heat of the JV 4 free relay. So if we didn't take this break here, he'd only have a minute and a half between events. Not good for the heart, I'm told. So they're taking a nice cool down, and it's obvious when you look at the pool. I could have looked at the pool a little bit and kind of known as Will is taking some laps there. So All right, we are official talking over to Chris Morgan. The starter's on the opposite side of the pool this year. The starter, when I mean that, I actually mean the human and the equipment. Usually it's all tight right next to the scorer's table. Case this year. Hope you're checking Meet Mobile. You can check Meet Mobile to get additional times. Kids all masking up. The masks are over the face, a little bit wet for most of the guys. I don't know how you keep them clean, but nothing like having a little chlorine right by the schnoz, but increases the airflow maybe. I don't know. So boys are, most of the boys are lining up, getting ready to go. Got to find where Will New is. That's the guy who needs to recover. Thankfully, he's swimming third tonight. Let's delve into the coaching staff a little bit. Tyler Husko is in his 5th year coaching here. He actually swam at Eagan High School as well. So he's a longtime contributor. Was also planning to do a strength and conditioning at Eagan as well. The Booster Club pays to have someone teach the boys how to lift weights and be prepared for the season, but Coach Gage is not opening up. Coach Gage, that is the wrestling coach, not opening it up, the weight room as of now. But when it is, Tyler Husko will be the strength and conditioning coach. Anthony Schmidt is in his, I believe, his 3rd year here. He was a collegiate swimmer at UW La Crosse. Don't let that fool you. He's a huge Vikings fan. He's also a chemist over at Ecolab is his day job, but he loves the sport of swimming, and so he's always coming here. Incidentally, he did meet his wife. She's a diver at UW La Crosse. But back to Tyler Husko in 2014, who is an academic All-American here, and he is going into education. So I have a feeling he'll be on deck with his coach and mentor, Chris Morgan, for the foreseeable future. So the JV for free relay is all lined up here, getting ready to go. Guys are set, officials are set, let's go. Each boy is going to be swimming 100. Lane 2, it's Carson Rivard, and he's a freshman. In lane 4, Reese Enos Cook. Coming in at the 50. It's a nice turn there. Rivard hits the wall well, gets out past the flags. Reese is coming in strong. Looking like he's trying to pick up a little bit of time. Let's see how he does on this flip turn here. Reese gets a nice turn. Is he going to stroke it out? Strokes it out before that breath. Actually brings him back more in alignment with Carson Rivard. Actually, Reese is now outstroking Rivard. It's looking awfully tight here. Second swimmer's diving in, lane 2. That's called deep. Racha Batuni now in the water is lane 4, Tyler Sitter. Sitter's doing his Doing quite well. Needs some bigger kicks there by Sitter. Keep those a lot of upper body. Needs some a lot of legs going on. Good flip turn there by the boys. Gets out past the boy. Is Tyler Sitter have a long body. And then see called deep. He's hugging that lane line quite tight. Decent flip turn. Like to see Sitter get a bigger kick. He's going awfully hard on that arms, but he is a good, strong upper body kid. All right, third swimmer's in the pool. Lane 4 is Vidon Shrista, the 8th grader. Lane 2 is Ben Currens, the sophomore. You could always see a little bit more pep in that first 10 to 20 yards than in that last 100. Vidon doing a really nice job. Good right foot kick. That left foot's a little dragging a little bit. Hits the wall. Here's Ben Currens. He's been swimming a lot of yards tonight. Coming down and back, those third swimmers. We all got to cheer on Will New. We had we took the break for him so he could get rested up. So we expect a lot right here. Will New all queued up. Gets going. Nice entry into the pool. Good long streamline. Half the length of the pool there. Very nice. And then lane 2 is Neelan Ambalam. He's up and in. He's coming in. Will New does a really nice job hitting the wall. He's kicking hard. That rest was worth it now. I think he's feeling the pressure of all of us looking at him, but it's he's coming in hard. Keep that kick going, Will. One more flip turn. Call it a day. Once you're done, you can rest till tomorrow morning, till practice. Actually, tomorrow afternoon. Deep hits the wall, gets out past the flags. Good turn. Will New, flip turn, takes that stroke. Good form. Breathe right away. Kind of want to see a stroke or two before you breathe after that wall, but once again, easy for me to say up here. Coming in, touching in. 4:06:57 for the JVA. JVB coming in. All right. 4:19:61. Your last race of the evening is going to be the 400-yard freestyle relay varsity. Tremendous thanks to ETV. I'm just so grateful for them. They had an opportunity to work with them for the volleyball season, soccer season. They're always doing such a great job. And first time in 13 years they're coming to swim meets. It's so great to have them here. I know many of you are at home watching. It's in the hundreds, close to 1,000 viewers last week. So thanks to ETV for making that all possible. So we're quiet for the start, and the relay race is off, and it's Johnny Mezaritsky in lane 2, and lane 4 for the A relay is Miguel San Jose. So I'm going to try to read some splits off for you guys. So keep it fresh. So lane 4, Miguel San Jose touches in. That's a 25:59. Mezaritsky comes in at a 26:78. That's a decent split for San Jose. They're doing a 50. All right, Miguel San Jose. Boy, this is his coming moment as that race that he swam in that 500. San Jose touches in. 27:75. A couple seconds slower than that one. 29:05 for Mezaritsky. Lane 2 now in the water is Dabin Chong. And lane 4 is Harrison Bowie. Harrison Bowie's first 50 split. He's coming in, nice long strokes. It's a 25:31. Dabin Chong's is at a 26:99. Okay, let's see how they do on the back half. Harrison Bowie, traditionally a long-distance swimmer. I'm looking for a negative split here. I'm saying he's going to go at 25.2 here. Only time will tell. It'll be a short time, too. Bowie coming in. He touches in. His split is I was wrong. It's a 28.73. And then a 29.06 for Chong. So now in the water in lane 2 is Tyler Burby. Lane 4 is Derek Bango. Lane 4 is a 25.76 for Bango. Lane 2 is a 26.74 for Burby. All right, let's see how those measure up. Seems like most guys are going quite a bit slower on that second half. A lot of that reason is they're not diving in, so it's always going to be slower. I don't know what I was thinking was. Guessing Bowie would be faster. 28.26 for Burby on his back half. 28.90 for the back half for Bango. So your last swimmers are in the water. Roni Shrista in lane 2. And Emilio Santoyo Lopez in lane 4. Santoyo Lopez will just be smoking this. Probably the fastest 100 swimmer in the section. That's a 23.80 that he went. Easily the fastest split so far. And in lane 2 is a 25.49 for Roni Shrista. If you remember correctly, tonight, Emilio Santoyo Lopez swam a sub 23 as a 50. This with the relay start to get a 23.80 is quite incredible. He's coming in to touch in, and that's a 3:31.33. 3:31.33. You ask, how does that compare to last week with a completely different lineup? Last week it was a 3:32.98. So Coach Morgan's 4 free relay switches it up and ends up going faster. Just heard Chris Morgan yell out, say, I'm very proud of you guys. So thank you, Chris Morgan. Thank you, Anthony Schmidt. Thank you, Tyler Fusco. Thank you, President of Booster Club Margaret Cahill, who orchestrated this whole combination for getting fans to the meet. And thank you to ETV. It's just always a pleasure meeting with our cameraman was Greg tonight, and Dalton was a producer, and so we'll see you next week as we swim again. Thank you, ETV.
We were very close in this meet all the way through. On paper, we were supposed to lose by about 26 points. We were within 2 going in the last relay. These boys had a tremendous performance up and down on the boards in the water. Unofficially, we lost by a couple of points tonight, but I could not be more